If you ever want a video game that feels like an experience, then Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is for you. A game which toes the line between being a perfectly put together movie or this fantastic, visually pleasing, awesome video game with some of the most immersive audio pieces that you will ever experience. You go on a psychological journey with Senua through the Norse underworld of Helheim. If you love Norse mythology, then this game dives deep into it, and collecting the lore stones only amplifies this.
To Hela, your 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 was sacrificed, and with her you must bargain.
Senua suffers from a severe case of psychosis, which allows us to listen to these voices in her head. Now, whilst I can't personally say if this is 100% accurate or not, the game's audio really makes you feel uneasy at times and allows you to fully feel what it must be like to be Senua.
Who is it? It's coming.
That song again.
Is it?
This is why the game recommends headphones, and I personally played with surround sound Dolby Atmos, which created a whole room experience for myself. Throughout the game, the voices will in some ways try and help you. Using the 3D audio, they will attempt to tell you where an enemy is, if they're behind you or to the side of you, which only makes you feel more and more like you're in the game with Senua. At times, Senua will also talk to you directly as well. The game perfectly utilizes the human senses, creating daunting and unsettling moments, especially using the voices in Senua's head, who will at times speak to you as if you weren't even there.
What is she feeling? You can't even fight. It's just deception.
Everything I've spoke about so far gives you a lot of attachment to Senua and allows you to sympathise more with her and her psychosis, as the game attempts to allow you to experience this for yourself. I'll try not to include as many spoilers as possible, but I do want to talk about some of the combat fights you have, especially as you get close to the end of the game, which for me is where the game surprised me the most. Initially I was getting frustrated by the game's combat, but once I learned to time my parries instead of always dodging and using Senua's ability to focus, combat became more understandable and also more enjoyable. Each combat scene made me feel as if I was there, and a lot of the world design created some awesome arenas to fight in. When you mix in the audio from multiple voices, it puts your sense on overdrive, and if you allow yourself to get fully immersed by the game, you'll be able to fully shut off the real world during these intense moments. Ninja Theory also pays attention to every detail. A great example of this is during combat, when enemies will have sword slashes the more damage you do to them. And whilst this may seem like a minor thing to most players or even just standard, it really shows the length of detail that Ninja Theory will go to try and fully immerse you in the game. I've seen people criticize this game for being at times tedious or repetitive, which I can understand with some of the puzzles, but for me, I was just enjoying the game too much and that there was very little that could put me off. And I personally enjoyed the challenge of figuring out each puzzle in the game. The Platinum Trophy in this game requires you just to play the entire story and collect all the lore stones, which there are 44 in total.
There was a Northman called 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. Big.
I only missed out of 4, which means sadly I didn't get the special ending, but I have since collected the missing 4 to get the platinum, and I plan to replay the final chapter to experience the other ending this game has to offer. I wouldn't say collecting all 44 is particularly difficult if you fully explore each area, and the 4 that I did miss were just silly errors from me thinking I'd already explored certain areas that I actually hadn't. I won't talk about the ending as I don't want to spoil anything, but the storytelling in this game is extremely good, and the overall meaning is far different to the standard games. At the end of the day, Senua isn't a witcher or a dragonborn or some powerful mighty hero. She's just someone who believes in her gods, who suffers with something that real-world humans can relate to, and some of the lessons that are taught through this story can be related back to some players. It took me around 10 hours to get the platinum in this game whilst exploring almost every little bit of the game, and I can wholeheartedly say that this short experience is worth your time and for you to give it a chance. I would definitely recommend headphones or at least Dolby Atmos to get the full experience, but even without these you will still enjoy the game. And if you did enjoy today's video, a like is always appreciated, and if you have played Senua's Sacrifice, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this masterpiece.